welcome, everybody. It's another Wednesday night, which means one thing. You got your favorite girlfriends here, ready to chat football. Week 2 did not disappoint, especially for all of our amazing teams. So all of us girls are happy campers this week in terms of football. So we've got lots to chat about. We've got a great fit that one of our girls will be happy with. We've got more recipes. We've got an incredible Dallas Giants game. Like, who would have thought? We've got Packers. Are they possibly the best team in the NFC? Buffalo. Are they possibly the best team in the AFC? We got Technics Chick in the house. What's up, girl? It's been a minute. Welcome. Gabe. Gabe's in the house. What's up, buddy? Hey. So we've got so much to dive into. So let's jump into it. So Beth, I'm going to let you start with talking about your Bills, who Laura's team really mopped the floor, but you also mopped the floor with your so let's chat Bills. Let's get up to speed.
Yeah, it was a good game. I felt like, because I can't say a great game because it wasn't super exciting, which for a Bills fan is sometimes awesome. But also, I mean, we looked like we were just at practice. It was that the whole team looked so calm, so put together, confident. Just they went out and they played like it was a practice game. It was really fun to watch. Josh Allen cannot be stopped right now. You can see it in his game. You can see it in his face that it's now not quite as pretty as it used to be. Like you can just see it. You can just see the confidence that he exudes right now. And so it's been fun watching him for many ways. I would say the two things that went poorly were Josh Allen, of course, and we'll talk a little bit more later. He broke his nose. They never said he broke his nose. They didn't. And I don't know if he even got the x-rays, because I think in his mind is if they get x-rays and they say it's broken, they're going to make him do something about it. And if they don't get x-rays, it's not broken in typical man fashion, right? Like if there's not something to prove it, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, if you don't test for something, there's no data.
Right, exactly. So that's kind of how I feel Josh lives his physical well-being right now. So with his hand last year, with his nose right now, he gets to wear a really cool visor this upcoming season or this upcoming game to kind of protect that not broken nose that he has. And I think that's about it. Oh, and we had Matt Milano also went out halfway through the game. He's got a pec injury, which we will not talk about today, but he had a pec injury, so he'll be out next week, as will Ed Oliver still. So we're going to be lacking a little bit on our defensive side walking into the Dolphins tomorrow.
Yes, that should be. Hey, Tara Jones in the house. Good job. Welcome. I think they did announce that he did break his nose. I heard it. I think it was on ESPN, and I just looked it up. New York Post had put that he broke his nose as well. So
it was official.
Okay.
I think anybody who watched it knew, right?
Yeah.
But he's never going to say it, so
yeah,
he'll be fine.
Yeah. His face is still pretty, so we're all good there. What were your two takeaways of the game?
Yeah, and I'm going to say, so disclosure to everybody, I'm out of town for a funeral, so I have not been on my right mind and or pulling together the things that need to be pulled together. So I don't have two takeaways from that game, because to be honest with you, I worked half of it and the other half I watched / prepared to travel. So unfortunately, if anybody else watched it and has more information for me, that would be it.
I'll speak on your behalf. Your takeaways are: you have a good kicker. You're also, yes, I would say, the best team in the AFC. Like, the road to the Super Bowl goes through Buffalo. And I would also say, I forgot to tell you this last pod, that Peter Schrader I don't know if you follow him, but he is now on ESPN. He was on NFL Network, but he is an incredible analyst. I love, love, love what he does. He has predicted the Super Bowl the last 5 years. I just want you to know the BB word came out of his mouth representing the AFC. So I just want to give you a little bit of good news because I know it's been.
Put it back in your mouth and keep it quiet.
I didn't actually say it. So
I know. I appreciate that. And I know you did that because of me. So thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Laura, let's jump to the Lions, who had no mercy.
Yes.
No mercy. I mean,
yes.
Classic Dan Cable, jugular. I mean, it was everything you guys needed to bounce back from your week 1 situation. So walk us through your game.
Absolutely. No, it was a firecracker. Well, actually, the first half of that game was a firecracker of a game. I mean, they came to play. It was in one sense kind of a revenge game, right? They were playing against their former coordinator, who's now the head coach of the Bears. To be fair, I don't know that anybody expects the Bears to be specifically good, especially with a brand new head coach who did not get to make a lot of his own picks. Like, he did not bring a quarterback with him. He did not do a lot of those things. And I think he might have been a little overconfident that because he knows our team that he could come in and just walk all over us. But our strengths were not just in individual coordinators. It was with the whole culture of the team and the entire package. So the Lions knew that, and they were going to throw a lot of things out there specifically to throw him off. And because they know him as well as he thinks they know them. So they came to play. And especially after our loss to the Packers, there was no way we were going to give this one up. And yeah, I mean, just merciless, just, throw after throw. I mean, we made one entire down the field only with run game. Like, that's it. And we were not stopped at all. So that was pretty awesome. But I will say by the second half, it got boring because they just kept scoring. They're like, that's fine. We can win at 52 points. They just kept scoring, even though there was no world in which the Bears could catch up to them. But so it kind of got a little boring, to be fair, by the end of the game, because it's like, yep, another score. Oh, that's yep, they did that. So, but there were a lot of really cool parts, like not even with the game. There were a lot of cool player dynamics going on. There was, the leap into the stands by Amon-Ra St. Brown to the kids. And then Jared Goff, like the golden retriever he is, had to do it too when he jumps up. That was pretty funny. And it was all around just a good, fun, wholesome game, and that we won. There were lots of celebrity sightings because Jimmy Fallon was there because he was recording a show in Detroit afterwards. We had Eminem, of course, sharing a box with Barry Sanders. That's super fun. So it was fun. It was fun, and it made us happy as fans.
By the way, the little girl.
Go
ahead.
I was just saying it shows how much it hits against the doubters who they had that first game, and so many people so easily were like, what's the problem with Goff? Is Detroit done because they lost all their coaches? All of those pieces. This was their middle finger to say, this is not, we had a game, but that is not who we are. So kudos to you guys. I think Detroit's got a good season. I knew they would have a good season ahead of them, but I think they showed that that we shouldn't count them out yet.
Yes.
Very good. I was going to say the young girl in the stands, she's been everywhere on social media, and she was on TV. Do you know what they call her at school?
Oh, wait, I did see this.
Epic.
I don't remember what it is. Remind me what it is, because it was Adorable.
The legend of the Lions.
The legend of the Lions. That's right.
Like they're calling her the legend of the Lions. Like I just melted when I saw that. And the girl had like this hat with like all the fuzzy hair on top. Like she captured my heart. So shout out to her. Shout out to the Lions. Y'all handled your business. My game was not a situation like yours that was boring in the second half because you were just, you're so far ahead. It was return of the Mac Jones entering into a Shanahan offense was everything I wanted it to be. You talk about these quarterbacks that have just been in these programs where they haven't been allowed to develop, and to actually see him be into a situation with a coordinator that knows what the hell to do to dial up a game according to his talents and what he can do, scared the hell out of me. I'm not even going to lie. This guy came out slinging. And, the talk of the town has been his touchdown to interception ratio was 1-1, right? So I'm like, bro, what are we doing? What are we actually doing? We're just throwing the ball in the air right out of the gate. I'm like, where's Christian McCaffrey? He wasn't in the lineup to start. Like, I was sweating bullets a bit. I'm not going to lie. The new kicker, by the way, missed his first kick. I'm like, bro, this is not how we're going to roll like this. But thankfully, Mac kind of settled down after the first quarter. Things started to come around. I want to give props to not just Mac Jones, who went 26 for 39 on 279 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. There was a fumble, which also stopped my heart because guess where he was in the throw? His arm was back. The guy comes off the edge, hits his arm. I'm like traumatized, PTSD. I'm like Brock Purdy all over. He just tore his UCL. No, he was fine. But for that moment, I was freaking out a bit. So it was a whole situation. He did great. Speaking of Christian McCaffrey, he went 13 carries, 55 yards, 4.2 average. He was fantastic, but I really want to give some flowers to New Orleans. I mean, for all intents and purposes, our defense is phenomenal. Our front four are dynamic and they're just rotating, and it's really sexy watching what they do. Dre Greenlaw, as you guys know, how devastated I was when he got picked up by Denver, and he's out there now. Oh my gosh, D. Winters has filled those shoes, and him and Fred Warner are menaces. So Menace. I'm just calling him Menace now. Fred Warner had a punch out. He punched the ball out, recovered it, resulted in us getting a touchdown. It was just phenomenal. But to speak on our defense, Spencer Rattler, the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, he really was not rattled. I mean, he really did some good things. I mean, it didn't hurt that Alvin Kamara was just having his way with us. Man ran for about 100 yards. He was 99 yards in on the game. So they, the run game still found some moments there. And this game really could have easily spun in a different direction. It could have been, a W in the Saints column. But thankfully, we figured it out. Now, a couple of things to my Niners fans that are listening. Jawan Jennings, he did not look 100% in that game. I still feel like he's got some dinged up injuries that I'm a little nervous about, and I'm hoping that, he has some time to recover. I'm not quite sure what that's about. Trent Williams, there's been talk about his knees. I've been on other podcasts talking about maybe it's a little early arthritic changes, which you can always have meniscal injuries with that. That's associated. The man has been in the league for over a decade. He's in his late 30s. He's earned that. But I just worry about whoever's in the pocket, right? Trent Williams is a future gold jacket. Like, he is Hall of Fame, best left tackle in the league, best that maybe he's ever played the position. And we don't have an answer if something happens to him. And we've already got a banged up quarterback. We've already got a banged up running back. We've already got, Kittle's out on IR. We are banged up. We really need to have all hands on deck from what we can have. So there's a little bit of nerves there. So thankfully we're 2-0. Happy about that. And I'm going to talk a little bit later about some injuries, and I'm going to express what I feel like we can expect with Brock Purdy, because we got some good news today. But I want to delve into one more game from last week, at least. You guys may have other games you want to talk about. But on Sunday, it was the Cowboys and the Giants. And after my Niners game went off, I think I was like watching that game and I was like, what the heck is happening here? And I see Russell Wilson just throw a bomb to Malik Neighbors, and it was beautiful. And I right away texted you guys. I'm like, Russell's back. Russell's back. And then I had to like retract that before the end of the game. Went into overtime. I mean, this was fantastic. And, to see the Cowboys without who went to the Giants? I mean, who went to Green Bay?
Micah Parsons.
Without Micah Parsons. I mean, did you guys catch that game? Were you also jumping in kind of late in that game? What are your thoughts on that?
Yes. So I actually sent you all a photo from the basement setup that I normally watch football in. And there are 3 TVs and multiple games on. And so we had the Lions game on one screen, the Pats game on another screen, because the guy who owns that lives there is a Pats fan. And then the Saints game, because we have a Saints fan, and you told me to turn off that hot garbage, but I'm glad I didn't, because it ended up being a pretty exciting game. But so to that, we had all these games on, but we did not have the Dallas game until, a bunch of the other games were over, and all of a sudden it was on every screen. And we're like, oh my gosh, they're going into overtime. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Like for a long time, we thought it was going to end in a tie. We're like, no, they're tying. They're 100% tying. This game is over. It's done. They're not going to do anything. And then that's not what happened. So yeah, it was kind of a nail biter there, especially for 2 teams that I don't particularly like. It was pretty exciting to watch that. And I saw that moon ball too. And we were all exclaiming about that moon ball. And we were like, oh my gosh, like, did you see that throw? And then, yeah, just like you had that same reaction. We're like, oh, well, okay.
Well, what I really wanted to say was, as bad as Dallas can be, eventually you keep throwing those deep passes, they're going to eventually in overtime, it took them before they were like, oh, maybe I should pick this off.
Right.
My husband is a Giants fan, and it was one of those, yeah. Like, as if being a Giants fan isn't bad enough, and then that game on top of it, and it was one of those things where we didn't talk about it because he knew what the outcome was going to be before the outcome happened, and it just hurt to see that he knew that because it did not. How does Russell Wilson have such a good game and then still blow it? It's
not just a good game. I believe I heard that was his career high passing numbers.
400 and something, wasn't it?
Man's been to some Super Bowls, plural, like crazy. Yeah. And then you don't come out with a W, that's got to be super deflating. And then, of course, on behalf of Dana, you saw the thing that was getting posted is like, oh, just leave the Giants and you'll have the most amazing year the following year. Like Saquon leaves, blow up year. Daniel Jones leaves, blow up year.
I feel like maybe management should be paying attention to that. Right? I mean, at some point, it's not the player's fault.
Yeah. Speaking of management, y'all, I am not a Cincinnati Bengals fan, but man, I feel bad. If you guys are out there repping your tiger stripes for your Bengals, I am so sorry. How do you have a future, what should be a Hall of Famer quarterback, just not be protected year after year? Man just won comeback player of the year last year, and now he's out for the season for turf toe. And for those of you that watched us last week, we went into a little bit of detail because Brock Purdy had just been diagnosed with turf toe. We kind of talked about how severe it can get. We're going to get a little bit more into that. But you know, I joked around and I was like, I should just call my fantasy team Team Turf Toe because I had both Brock Purdy and frickin' Joe Burrow. So
And how
I know
often
my
do we
plays.
see turf toe impacting a season as much as you hear
Right.
about it? Somebody has it, they're maybe out for a game, maybe two, but it's not like I having surgery for turf toe, being out for multiple games for turf, like being on injured reserve for it. Like when did our toes become so delicate in the NFL?
Right.
Like what is causing, because here I am then as the PTA, I'm like, what is causing all of these people to have a similar injury, right? Are we talking, is it the cleats? Are they not padded
Are they
enough?
too
Are they not
flexible?
providing any
Yeah.
support, and which if you've ever worn a pair of cleats, they do not give you any support. So that probably has a lot to do with it. But is it the cleats? Is it the turf, the actual fact that you're not playing on grass or are playing on grass, and how that impacts the forces throughout your body? I mean, it boggles my mind. So hopefully there aren't any more turf toe injuries this year, but it's crazy to see it right now.
Yeah, and
There
I
seems
had the
to be a
same thought.
theme. Yeah, there's definitely seems to be a theme, like when we had all the Achilles, right? It was like,
Right.
oh, this is the year of the Achilles. I guess this is the year of turf toe. Neither are good. So I guess let's jump into injuries because there's a lot to chat about. So last week we talked about turf toe. So turf toe is an injury where there's a hyperextension of the big toe. We know this. We talked about this last week. So if you take a look at this picture, imagine being even higher on your toe, and then you have an impact coming in from behind the heel. That kind of forces your toe even further up into, forcing your toes more upward. Again, that upward motion of the toes is called extension. Hyperextension means you're going beyond what the toes really should be going. And by doing that, you get this tear on the undersurface of the big toe where the toe and the foot actually connect. And that joint is called the metatarsal phalangeal joint. Now, there are some structures all around it. So I'm going to go to the next slide so that you can understand the complexities of this. So around that big toe, your big toe is the anchor of your foot. That, the heel, and then the outside part of the pinky toe. That's like it makes like a triangle. But you see all this connective tissue, all these muscles, ligaments. There's a capsule. So around every joint, there's a capsule. And then underneath are these free-floating bones called sesamoid bones. And those bones act kind of like the kneecap in the knee. So it's like a pulley system to help with flexing the toe and moving of the toe. So all of it's bundled together by a capsule. And then just like in the knee, you have ligaments on both sides. In the knee, it's called your MCL and your LCL. Well, you've got something similar here in the toe, and it helps the toe from not straying too far inward or outward. Okay. So you can't really probably appreciate it on the picture to the left, but when you have a bad turf toe like Joe Burrow has, you have a tear, and the tear is so bad that then there's instability of that joint. And so if you can, I don't know, again, if you can blow up your screen, you'll see there's two little dots that look like they're right underneath that joint. I have a big circle around them. So the two little, looks like there's hypercalcification, but what that is the sesamoid bones, those free-floating bones that are underneath the toe that are encapsulated
The white dots.
in.
We don't need to say calcifications. White spots.
Yes, the white spot. Thank you. I'm like, how do I? Thank you, Beth. The white spots are the sesamoid bones. Yeah, are the sesamoid bones underneath that are trapped in the ligaments and in the tissue there under. Again, they act as a pulley system. So when you tear, they drop back. So if you can see in the left, they're further down on the picture, but on the right, they're right where they should be. So you can see they've been displaced. They're now down. So you can diagnose a tear on a plain x-ray by looking at where the sesamoid bones are. So you can have a tear there. You can have a tear of either the lateral collateral or medial collateral ligament of the toe. There's lots of things that can happen here. But basically what you need to know is that it is a complete tear that he has. It will require surgical intervention, which means he is probably out for the season. They have said 3 months, 4 months, but I'm going to tell you, all your power in moving forward and propelling forward comes from that big toe. And this is something you want to heal fully. You don't want to mess around with this because there are incredible athletes, Niners fans. One of our all-time best linebackers had to retire in his 20s, I believe, because of turf toe. Patrick Willis, the great Patrick Willis. So this can end careers. And there is like a 50% chance that he's going to continue to have issues even after surgical repair, because everything that happens in our body starts in our feet. We can have problems in our ankles. We can have problems in our knees, hips, backs. It can go all the way up the body. So I would say it's really, really important for him to probably just focus on getting this 100% improved and healing properly. Now, let's segue that into, yeah, go ahead, Beth.
Can I say something petty?
Yes.
I love petty.
I am most concerned that we're going to miss his fits the rest of the season.
Facts.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
Continue. I hope he heals well. And
Joe Burrow,
He's
we're
a
going to
great-
miss not just,
he's a great player. But we all saw this coming, did we not? We've said over and over again, you've got to protect him. He's too good of a quarterback. How do you not keep this man safe?
Right.
100%. 100%. Joe, we want you back. We want you healthy. The league needs you. We wish you the best. And, we're looking forward to your sideline fit. So make sure when you're able to come back to the sideline, we can at least look forward to seeing you there. So best wishes, friend. Like I said, we'll segue into Brock Purdy. So Brock, I saw some video today. My man's back in limited practice. I had said in a Twitter space that I expected him to be back by week 3. I do think there is an opportunity for him to play this week. I think Kyle Shanahan said there is a shot. He called it a long shot. This is a complicated answer or a complicated question. Can he come back this weekend? So here's my thought process. On one hand, he looked good. I mean, watching him move, he looked good. And from an athletics trainer standpoint, there's special taping and things that you can do for turf toe to protect it. I think his was probably a grade 1. I think he's pretty good. Now, that said, I kind of segued and talked about this a little bit earlier. I am concerned about Trent Williams' health and in protection. So you've now paid this man $53 million. We've just now talked about how important the foot is and turf toe, how bad it can get, and how you want it to heal fully. Mac Jones just did a hell of a job last week. We are playing the Arizona Cardinals. I feel like if it were me taking in all of these thoughts, I would hold him back this week and have him start next week. I think that is 100% what I thought last week. I think it's 100% where I still stand. Seeing the way he moves right now, and obviously I'm not doing a physical exam on him, and I'm not talking to him, and I'm sure things that are even in the media are not 100% accurate. I would say they very well could put him in this week. So I don't know that helps anybody. I would say he looks good. I think there's absolutely an opportunity, and I think they could put him in, and then I'm just like wrong. I think he could be out there and looking great and do just fine. But now, given what we see with Joe Burrow, knowing how Trent Williams feels, knowing how banged up we are already, we're 2-0. We got Mac Jones, did a great job this past week. I think let's let the kid really rest. We're paying the man a lot of money. Let's rest up, come back week 4, and jump back into the routine. So,
right, because you don't want him to get injured more. And especially, I would imagine, I am not the medical professional here, but I would imagine if you are even unconsciously favoring your foot a little while you're playing, you risk injuring something else, right? Like you're not necessarily doing it right. You know what I'm thinking?
So I think one of my question is, and like I said, I didn't do research. So Dezi, you can tell me one way or another. My biggest concern is similar to what Laura's saying, right? You figure we put so much pressure through that toe. You need it if you're going to plant, if you're going to throw, if you're going to cut, all of those things. So the minute you take away the ability to do that with a fast speed without the same intensity as you would normally, that impacts how fast you can throw the ball. It impacts your release time. It impacts the entire throw. So your accuracy is going to go down. Your speed and your force behind that ball are all going to change because you're unable to throw it, because you're unable to plant and or push off the way you would typically. The season is real early, right? So if you guys, you do not want to be in a Joe Burrow situation. You do not want to be in surgery and be out for the rest of the season. You want to take the time, let it heal, and come back. So I agree. I think seeing the history right now, and especially what's going on in the NFL, you've got to give it that time to heal and have him come back, even if it's 2 games down the road, but give him some time so that he's functioning and giving the Niners what they need and deserve.
Great point. I'm glad we're all in agreement. Now they just need to listen to us, and then we'll be all good.
We'll send this clip to the 49ers. Be like, hey.
Listen, things would go a lot smoother in many places if they just listened to us, right? Life, home, all the things. Listen to your women.
Yes. And to your point, it is his right foot, and he is a right-handed quarterback. So when he drops back and he goes to turn, he is pivoting on that big toe. So, okay, so let's move on to the other injury. It's the Josh Allen injury. We talked a little bit last week because Fred Warner got a bloody nose. So again, themes, right? So Josh took a hit somehow. He doesn't even know how it happened, right to the face. And he fractured his nose. And so I just want to kind of show on here, fractured nose, right? We've all maybe had a bloody nose here or there. Maybe some of us have had a fractured nose. What's involved with that? So on the x-ray on the right, you can see in the circle and all the arrows are pointing to this thin, if you see a black line, there's you're looking down the ridge of the nose and there's a black line that's going through it. That black line is the fracture site. And so when you have a fractured nose, a lot of times you're going to get a bloody nose. And most of the time, like you guys learned last week, I'm going to pull up that slide real quick. Most of the bloody noses are from the Kesselbach's plexus, which is a collection of blood vessels in that area. In this picture, you can see it's right underneath the bridge of the nose. And so a lot of times you've got to stop bleeding. Now, remember that area because you can get some complications from a nasal bone fracture. One of them is a hematoma. It's called a septal hematoma because right underneath the bone is an area of cartilage that finishes out. If you touch the tip of your nose, it's kind of spongy, right? That's cartilage. And so you can get bleeding into the cartilage. And if you look at the picture all the way to the top, that's the swelling of the cartilage from blood that's collecting in there from a fractured nose. That is not good. That needs to be drained within 24 hours or else it can cause tissue death. You do not want that. So if you ever see somebody that has this appearance in their nose, make sure they follow up in the emergency room ASAP. You can also get something that's called a saddle deformity. And so if you look down in the bottom corner there, you'll see there's like a little bump that develops, and that little depression at the tip, as you head towards the tip, that makes what's called a saddle depression. And so some of these things, whether you just have a simple fracture, which hopefully that's all Josh Allen has, it's just a simple fracture that will heal in time. Sometimes they can be out of place and they need to be manually put back in place, and sometimes they need to be surgically corrected. So Josh, usually when you get a fractured nose, you'll get a black eye under both eyes. And I did see some bruising that was developing there. His nose was wider, of course, still as adorable as ever. He's like, takes the lick and keeps on ticking. I mean, that is literally, that should be on a tattoo on his body somewhere because that has been his whole career. Right, Beth?
I just want to say, I thought it was pretty impressive. He got hit and sprinted off the field. Like, you don't see very many players get injured because he didn't want to waste any time. Like, that's the player he is, right? He got hit in the face, broke his nose, saw blood everywhere, and was like, shit, I need to get off field so that Trubisky can finish this drive.
Exactly.
Like, don't waste any time off the clock. Don't waste any time paying attention to what's going on. Keep the drive running. He waved to Mitch Trubisky and ran off the field. Like, nobody knew what happened. So
that's why he's Superman.
Exactly.
He's a whole nother human.
For sure. Well, with that, let's go on to rate the fit because we have a little bit more to talk about.
And I know we do, and I want to really quick go back to injuries, and I know we cannot cover everything, but it really feels like so far, 2 games into this season, the amount of injuries league-wide feels insane. Last year, it felt like it was just the Lions that everybody was getting injured, but right now, like, we'll talk about it with the upcoming games, but like the big game that's coming up between Cincinnati and Minnesota, right? Both quarterbacks are out. That's going to be not the banger of a game that the schedulers were expecting. So.
Yeah. No, it was crazy. I mean, yes, but also my team was jacked up. I mean, we had Ricky Pearsall was shot, and you had Christian McCaffrey with his 2 bad Achilles that they were still trying to be like, oh, he could play maybe, and you're like, bro, he's not playing. Like, he's probably going to be out. So yeah, no, it always feels like that, and I think it's just part of coming off of transitioning from preseason in, but it's always a hot mess. I mean, welcome to football, right?
Right.
Let's go on to our next segment. All right, guys, if you follow us on social media, you will definitely see we are always making sure we get our picks out to show you who you want to rate as the best outfit, pregame outfit of the week. This week it was Alan. We joke that this man wears nothing but sweats to work every week. And this week it was almost unanimous. Thoughts? Feelings?
Yeah, I mean,
he looks put together yet still casual versus like he rolled out of bed, which frequently happens when he's coming to a game, which happens with most of the Bills players when they're coming to a game, to be honest. So whenever I can throw a Bills player into rate the fit, I feel I'm like texting everybody. Like I send the pictures to everybody because I'm like, listen, we don't get this very often. We don't make it into this segment very often. So I'm so glad he won. Also, it's that side-eye smile he's got going in that photo.
Side note, I always seem to have patients that have bloody noses. They're always wearing white. So also was this premonition?
Maybe.
Sorry.
Or is it because he's married now and he's going to be dressing better? We shall see.
Oh,
That's a reasonable point.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to get into the favorite segment of every week. It is cocktails and mocktails.
Yes!
All right. Oh, we got some comments here.
We did.
Chick, Fred Warner made it last week, and his fit looked very similar to the fit from the week before, so I didn't put him in the slideshow. Plus, we went with a theme this week of casual, like the casual fit. So no, Fred, listen, that is the sexiest man alive. Well, right next to the sexiest man alive on the sideline, which is Robert Saleh. Gabe said by Buffalo law, I am obliged to give him a 10 out of 10. All right, so we're getting a 10 out of 10 from Gabe for Josh Allen. So, all right, guys, you want to go through? Let's go through our cocktail of the week. Let me pull up the picture. Also, this is premonition, but I'll let you explain that. Oh, wait, let's start with this one. Sorry.
Yes, yeah. So this week, but as you've heard, we're trying to teach a little bit with our cocktails this year. I chose Alcatraz, this drink called Alcatraz. That is our shout out to the 49ers and to a certain player on the 49ers, which we'll get into. What I found really interesting about this drink, and unfortunately, I'm not drinking it tonight because all my ingredients are in Atlanta and I am not in Atlanta, but it's tequila, sherry, a gentian liqueur, mezcal, agave syrup, and chocolate bitters. We were just looking it up right before. The gentian liqueur is, I wish we had put a picture of this as we were going. It is this gorgeous deep blue flower, the gentian plant. So it's basically like tequila and gentian, or wine and this flower that are melded together to make this liqueur. So it was kind of a cool side note. That was our rabbit hole earlier today. I will tell you what it tastes like next week or in 2 weeks when we come back up, because I did not get a chance to taste it, unfortunately. But this is the Alcatraz. And we'll go ahead and do the mocktail, and then we'll talk 49ers and players.
Faithful, you can come join us at the tailgate here in Tampa, and maybe we'll have one of these together. All right, here's the mocktail.
So the mocktail is a little bit different, but it's kind of a fun, still not sweet. I'm working really hard to not make my mocktails just fruit juice and some seltzer water. So this one is, again, it's using black tea as the base to give it its kind of bitterness. I prefer the simple syrup over the sugar cubes. And then you just add in the orange slices that really give it the citrus taste. It is a great modification for our cocktails. So this was this is another fun side drink to have. So as we talk about football, our positions, our players, our teams, the 49ers this time I wanted to talk because I picked these players a while ago, right? I picked the drinks and who we're going to talk about and the positions a while ago. I picked this player because it was one of the few people who were still not injured on the Niners. So I'm sorry because this player did end up going out during the game. I picked Kyle Juszczyk, who ended up with concussion. He's a fullback for the 49ers. He wears number 44. He's on the offense. And I'm sorry, Kyle. It might have been me.
And Kristen, we got to apologize to Kristen too, because,
I know. So that was kind of what I wanted to talk about too, because one of the things that I thought was really cool about Kyle Juszczyk is that he's a smart dude. He went to Harvard. He got to play for Baltimore. He is now with the 49ers, of course. He has this amazing wife. Her name is Kristen, and she's a designer. And she has a contract with the NFL, and she designs clothes now for women in the NFL, which is kind of cool to have your own clothing line. Was not sponsored by. It's, what is it called?
Off-brand or off.
She's an authorized
licensed
user of the licensed designer for the NFL, which is so cool. She's done really great pieces for Taylor Swift and other famous people for design. So shout out to her for making a name for herself along with her husband. He received a concussion. Why did he receive a concussion? Because he's a fullback. Fullbacks are on the offensive side. They're in the backfield on the offense. So they're not going to be in that front line blocking and doing all all of that stuff right off the bat. Their job is to do it all. They're triple threat, right? And Kyle's a big dude. That's why he's a fullback versus a halfback or someone else, right? So as a fullback, you have the opportunity to run the ball, you have the opportunity to catch a pass, and you have the opportunity to block for the other running back or the quarterback. So their job is really to do it all on the offense. So hopefully he will come back soon and he can return to his position as a fullback on the offensive line. Being a triple.
I would also, so Kyle Juszczyk, we love him. When he scores, you'll hear the audience go, sounds like they're booing, but they're saying juice because that's his nickname, juice. And I just get so lit up. And I just think he is like an unsung hero. Like he is just always there. And like before this week, I would say he's hardly ever injured. He sustained like a finger injury one year, is like dislocated. You can see it on the ball. I went over that on the Eric Crocker show. And of course now he got a concussion. Hopefully he'll come back soon, but all in good time. We don't want to rush concussions. But the other thing I want to say about him, you guys know I'm part of the reason why I'm called Coach Dezi. Not only do I coach people into good health, but I'm also a track coach. And he was a shot put thrower. And I just thought one of the coolest touchdowns he did was when he like pretended he was doing shot and he like turned around and just threw a shot, like an invisible shot. And that just got me so hyped. So shout out to Juice. We love you. We wish you all the best and get well soon. And Technic Chick says, love,
I'll put it back.
Love the Juice chants at the away stadium. Shows you how much the 49er fans travel. Boy, we were like 50% up in New Orleans. Like we were there. Also, Technic Chick is going to be at the home opener this weekend. Whoop, whoop. All right. So I will love to hear some details when you get back. So, guys, we are running out of time already. I feel like we just started. There's so much still to cover. But let's go ahead and jump into picks. Yes? Is it time to go over picks? All right. Week 3. Here we go. All right.
Oh gosh, man, don't let me type things. Who are the Dolphins? That's fine.
That's what they're called this year. Like
the Dolphins.
It might be. I
mean, it tracks. All right. So Laura, why don't you cover what our matchups look like for this week?
Sure. All right. So we've got the Dolphins at Bills for Thursday Night Football, which you can watch on Amazon, of course. But it looks like all of us have picked the Bills. Seems reasonable to me. I don't think any of us like the Dolphins, right? And then we've got on Sunday, we've got the Falcons and Packers, and all of us have picked the Falcons. I don't know that there's much that we have to say about that either.
Nope.
A lot of we weren't split. We split on a few things, but like Packers versus Packers with Browns, we all picked the Packers. I mean, even I admit I couldn't not pick them this time. Texans Jaguars. So you all picked the Jaguars, and I picked the Texans. There was no real reason for that, other than I didn't know.
Well, you guys know I have a secret love of the Texans, right? Like D'Amico Ryans, like love. I've always been like cheering for them. And what a bummer. Like they played Tampa and I really thought like there's so much to unpack on that game too. Like, so Tampa played Texans in Texas. Baker Mayfield is a menace. Like they are a sleeper team. Like they're a balanced team. Like really good defense. They've got a really good offense. Baker Mayfield just making it happen late in the game. They come up with the score to lead over the Texans by 1 point. And it was unfortunate because the Texans they looked good. You had C.J. Stroud really coming out there doing things. I mean. But the Bucs, they were just relentless. Bucky Irving was going, just keeping the drives alive and things were happening. So shout out to the Bucks. I really wanted to pick the Texans over the Jaguars, but I don't know. Like, I think there's a different energy in Jacksonville. I think with Hunter there, I just think there's just a different energy. And, you know, their quarterback in Jacksonville, he's had some off times, but they're under a new coach now. And I just think he's going to start to come alive. And I just don't know if the Texans, they're traveling to Jacksonville. I don't know. I was really split on this. So
Sure.
I don't think there's a wrong answer. Well, I think it'll come down to it'll be a close game.
That's fair. And then, of course, we have the battle of the backups, the Bengals-Vikings game, where all the quarterbacks are hurt. And so that was a hard one to pick because you're like, which backup can play better? I don't know. You all picked the Vikings. I picked the Bengals. I think it's a toss-up, to be fair.
Yeah, agree.
I don't know if I knew that the Vikings had a backup quarterback at that time when I picked it either.
That should be our disclosure collectively, is like we do these picks on a Wednesday. Like there's a lot that still happens, later down the week of like, oh, suddenly this player is not going to be playing, or suddenly this player is going to be playing. And it just kind of can be the difference between a pick. But
Right.
All I'm saying, Laura, is that you're not wrong. I just did it because I knew Joe Burrow was out.
Right. And now everyone's out. So then we've got the Steelers, Patriots. I am not a fan of either team, to be fair. So again, toss up. Beth and I went with the Pats, and Dezi, you picked the Steelers.
I think Aaron Rodgers wants to stick it to us. So I just feel like I needed to pick that one.
Yeah, it's really, last week, because we had someone in the basement watching the Steelers game on a tablet. So I didn't get to see it, but I kept hearing his responses to it. And it seemed like it was, that Rodgers is going to Rodgers. Like he was a big whiny baby, apparently, throughout the whole game. So that just is what it is. All right,
Correct.
Eagles, Rams. We all picked Eagles. I think that seems like a good pick. Jets, Buccaneers. We all picked the Buccaneers. We've got the Colts versus Titans. We were split on that. You all picked the Colts, and I picked the Titans.
Yeah. Also, we were supposed to talk about, and I really do want to have space for this, so maybe we'll talk about it next week, Carly Ursay Gordon. So she was literally on the sideline, headset, like she is involved. I want to learn more about that because they are 2-0, and Daniel Jones just looks like a superstar. So we're going to cover a little bit more of that next week. We definitely got to talk about that.
Absolutely. And then Raiders, Commanders, split on that too. Beth and I picked the Commanders. You picked the Raiders.
Only because we didn't talk about it, but Jaden Daniels is out, knee injury.
Yes.
So I was split on this decision too. So. And also, did you guys see all the talks about Brady? So Brady is a commentator, right?
Yes.
And Brady is also 10% owner of the Raiders. So what's happening is the optics aren't good. Let's put it there.
Yes.
As a commentator, you go and you get to be part of the coaches meeting and things like that. So you get to learn what they're trying to do in games, right? So he's getting ready to commentate on the Bears game this week. And then Las Vegas turn around and the week after plays the Bears. So how are you learning how they're attacking, the team they're playing this week, and then your team's playing them the week after. So there is like some blurred lines here. And like, again, we saw Brady get preferential treatment while he was playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm on the same page.
I'm glad you said it and not me. I'm glad I'm not the one who made that statement.
I thought it last year too. Like it just doesn't seem right that he can own part of a team and be a commentator. It just doesn't seem right to me. So,
negative.
So Chargers,
the Raiders, as long as the Raiders suck, it's not going to be a problem.
Also
true. Once the Raiders start getting if they start making a turn, because they got Pete Carroll, I mean, they could start to turn the tide. I mean, like a Geno Smith. So maybe they start, but when they start turning the tide, I bet you the voices are going to get louder. It's going to be a problem. Carry on. Sorry.
Now, well, we all picked the Chargers over the Broncos. I think that seems straightforward to us. Saints Seahawks split on that one too. Desi and I went with the Seahawks. Beth, you picked the Saints.
They looked really good last week.
They did.
I agree.
I can't argue against that. So again, that was one that I figure is just sort of a toss-up. I think either of them could win that game.
Agree. I picked because they're playing in Seattle and the 49ers played both teams already. So I had like a feeling of who I felt was a little stronger. And so I felt Seahawks are at home. I felt like they were just a squeak little stronger. So I picked the Seahawks.
And then we've got Cowboys Bears. Beth, you picked the Bears on this one. Can you walk us through that choice?
They're home. And if they don't win, I think it's going to be a really ugly season. I think they need this in order to right the ship. So I'm thinking fair. More long term.
I think it'll be a really ugly season. So there's that.
I was coming off a huge win.
Right.
Against the Giants, but still. Overtime.
Right.
That was
That's what I mean, it was against the Giants, right? So
yeah.
Hence.
Yeah, but it was so close. It was so close. It came down to overtime.
Against the Giants.
Right.
But it was who won the game? The Cowboys MVP was the kicker.
But if they were playing the Dolphins and won in triple overtime, the Dolphins in triple overtime or whatever, would you say the same thing?
Right. I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. No. Well, we will see who is right.
We will. All right.
It's the Cowboys kicker is their MVP. Like the Cowboys won because they have a kicker that can kick from the emblem in the center of the field. Like, what are we talking about? Well, the Cowboys only have to travel like
maybe he'll get turf toe. Who knows?
We'll see. All right.
I'm not wishing that on anyone. I'm not wishing that on anyone.
That's the drink next week. We're doing it.
Desi, we got your game playing the Cardinals. And again, Beth, you chose the Cardinals.
Because so many people are hurt.
That's fair.
That's the Niners' injuries are the only reason why.
Yeah, I went with the sentimental choice. So I just, because Desi roots for the 49ers, I was going to pull for them. So we'll go there.
And like
sure. So I'm the bad friend. Is that what we just said? I'm the bad friend? Okay. Check.
Sure.
No, I just said there's no judgment. Truly, you have a valid point. I'm just doing it because it's my Niners and it's our season opener at home. So
that's all right. I've got shit to give Desi in a minute. Because we've got the Chiefs and Giants. We were split on that. Desi and I think Chiefs. Beth, you think Giants. Again, I think that's a split down the middle. I don't know who's going to win that. I don't think the Chiefs are as great this year as they have been in the past.
What did you guys think of
I can't go for the Chiefs. I think they will probably win that game, but I can't pick the Chiefs ever.
Okay, I need to see faces for this. What were you guys' reaction to the Mahomes to Kelsey pass that was dropped at the goal line?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean,
I kind of smiled in my heart.
Can I tell you what Greg said to me? He said, why are you such a Chiefs hater? Bro, I lost 2 Super Bowls to the Chiefs. Why are you talking to me right now?
How many more reasons do you need?
Yeah, exactly.
How many more reasons do you need?
I think that's plenty of reasons. All right. But then the last game that we all need to worry about this coming week is Monday night, Lions-Ravens.
Oh, such a good game.
I think that's going to be a fantastic game. I think the Lions have all the tools they need to beat the Ravens, but it's going to be a hard game. And Yeah. So I can see.
Agree. I think it's gonna be a great game. I went for the Lions as well. But dang, the Lions defense is very good. And and that will help. Like that's why I picked the Lions.
And yes, Dezi, would you like to justify?
I know. I know. If Beth had to explain, I'm gonna have to explain. I think it's going to be a very exciting game. I think this is going to be potentially almost as exciting. Almost, I don't think anything could be as exciting as the Bills Ravens game earlier this, from last week. But I definitely think it's going to be a phenomenal game. It is being played in Baltimore, and so I gave the edge to the Ravens for home field advantage. That's truly it. But if Derrick Henry keeps wearing weird outfits, maybe his production will equate to not as good as it was last week. So again, we're doing this on a Wednesday, and I can't see what he's going to wear on Wednesday. Derrick Henry, I do love you. I'm so sorry, but that outfit I don't even know where to start with that.
Well, and I would like everybody to remember that last year the Lions went undefeated on the road, which is huge. Like Lions decades past, that was not a stat you could give them. And I know we already lost on the road once so far this season. I mean, there have only been 2 games, but I don't think that defines us. And I think we have all the tools in our toolbox to beat the Ravens. We just have to execute. So like I say that like I'm on the field.
You just have to have the legend of the Lions there. I feel like she has to be at all the games now. All right, NFL, you make that happen.
Seriously, absolutely. You know what? Oh, and shout out. I missed this shout out. Total shout out to our former owner, Martha Ford. She turned 100 years old yesterday, I think it was. And last week, the game ball, they gave her the game ball because that. And she was the owner after Old Man Ford died. She owned the team for like 2 years and then passed the torch to her daughter. And all these changes that came were when Sheila Ford Hamp took over this team. And so obviously the Ford women way better at running our team than the Ford men were. So, huge shout out to her making the decision to give the team to her daughter. Shout out to her daughter for making this team so great. And all we need to do is win the Super Bowl. Like that's it. That's what would make this perfect. So if we can beat the Ravens this week, we can go another step to showing how great this era of the Lions are.
Awesome. One other thing, Technics Chick is such an awesome supporter of our show. She happened to message us because we did talk about the new kickoff rules. And so she did mention, and I just want to make sure we say this and give her cred, is it increases the returns. The idea is that you are forcing the kicking team to have their kickers kick it short rather than risk a touchback, because then the ball will come back out to the 35-yard line, which also means that the Dallas Cowboys would only then have to go 20 yards in order for their kicker to kick points, just so that you guys keep up with how the Cowboys are going to score this year. This means that more returns, because returners are then forced to return kicks that are short of the end zone. So thank you so much for putting that out there to us. We always want to make sure that we're, sharing as much information as possible. That's the whole point of our platform is, us girlfriends getting together, chatting football, learning everything together. So listen, guys, it's going to be a great week of football. Make sure you pour those beverages, be safe. Enjoy all that lies ahead. And please, for the love of injury gods, no more injuries. Let's have a clean weekend. All right. That's our prayer and hope. Everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. Join us again next Wednesday. We'll cover hopefully not
next
many injuries,
Wednesday,
more talks about this. Oh,
we will not. Stay tuned for short videos from our Girlfriends in Football trip to Las Vegas, Nevada. So we won't have an actual show next Wednesday night, but starting Wednesday, you'll probably see a bunch of random videos of us in Vegas getting our party on.
Yes. So it's birthday week. your girl turns 49. I finally become a 49er, and I am stoked. So we are going to show some videos. You'll be in touch with us throughout the week next week. And then we'll hop on the Wednesday after. We'll share all the fun that we had, and we'll keep you posted. So, oh, Gabe, bye. I will miss you, Mom. Gabe,
I'll
we
see
are
you
always
soon,
talking about
bud.
you. So you're always with her, because we stay talking about our kids. So, all right, guys, thanks again so much. Be in touch with us on social media. We'll still do Rate the Fit next week. We'll just do a double Rate the Fit the week after. But check in with us. And actually, if you want to buy us a drink, Laura, show them how they can donate to a fund.
Well, it's really easy. I don't even have to show you. Just go to our website, which is girlfriendsandfootball.com. On the website, on several places, you will find a little button that says Buy Me a Coffee. If you click on that button, it will take you to buymeacoffee.com, which will give you an opportunity to give us a one-time tip. It's no subscription, nothing. You just show us the love by buying us a drink. And we will definitely use that money on drinks in Vegas if you give it to us. Normally we would use the money to like buy cool stuff for the podcast, but this time we'll drink. So.
Yeah, but it may not be coffee. We may.
Right. Correct.
Yeah. We are also doing a tour of the Raiders stadium, so we will definitely come back with some really good information. So stay connected all over social media. We love you guys. Thank you always for spending some time with us on Wednesday nights. We enjoy it so much. Take care. Have a safe week. We'll see you next week. We're out. See ya.
Go Bills.
Happy football.